viral news source.
So, as of today, I've made a decision. I am starting another segment of the news called Ether News. And we're going to start with Jigga Man, viral news source. Let's go.
Bro. And now all of a sudden we have all these celebrities trying to come out and play victim, huh? I went to the diddler party. He used the baby oil on me. Come on, y'all.
My God.
These celebrities want to come out and expose the things that they saw in the industry. This is like a trend. And if that's the trend of this generation, then I'm here for it, bro. Let the truth come to light. Same thing that we've been saying all of this time. The truth will always come to light. That's just the way that this kind of stuff works. But in today's video, we have Nicki Minaj risking it all to expose Jay-Z. Now, let me remind you guys, Nicki Minaj is the same person that we have.
Good God. Jigga Man, Jigga Man, Jigga Man. Let's see.
Already exposed in other videos for number one, selling her soul, being a part of the whole Lil Wayne, Birdman, all the Young Money, Cash Money Boy, whatever the hell they had going on a couple of years ago where there was booty tickling all around the house. She was a part of that. She also exposed herself for being possessed by demons before she performed.
And I want you guys to think about this. Why, when we hear these stories about these celebrities, like, what is the deal? Like Birdman touching on Lil Wayne, and they said BG and everyone in the clique. I think the only one they said he did not get was Juvenile. And this is all alleged. But now we hear this with Jigga Man. It's all through the Epstein files. So what's the problem? Like, why do all of these people have such an affinity for touching children? And I'm not saying it's true, but Jay-Z is in the Epstein files numerous times. Okay? Diddy, he's locked up. He was a freakazoid. What is the problem with these people? Let's get to this thing with Jay-Z. Let's go.
Same thing as Beyonce.
Man is a crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say.
Right there. What is that? And shout out to my man Nitrous. Okay. What is this?
He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That sounds like a demon to me if I've ever heard one, bro. But it continues.
Just might be.
I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
I'm gonna be the first person to stand on business and saying that I genuinely think that when these celebrities sell their soul, that they do get possessed. And everybody in the comment section is always gonna say, well, you can't sell your soul. It's not your soul to sell. The reality is this, y'all. Your body is a temple for the spirit. When you get baptized in the name of Jesus Christ, then you are allowing the spirit to enter a cleansed vessel.
And I'm gonna have to
Christ.
I gotta agree with you. I gotta agree. Keep cooking, Nitrous.
These celebrities do demonic rituals in which they allow dark spirits to take over their vessel. Yes, you may not be selling your soul, but you are giving your body access to these demons, bro. We see it all the time with these ritualistic sacrifices, with the pentagrams and music videos, with the all-seeing eyes, with the bloodbath rituals. All of these things that we've exposed, we see it, yeah.
And I also saw something that was really disgusting today, and it was from the Epstein files. Someone was thanking Epstein for the jerked meat, which was human meat. I think the meat of the children, the flesh of the children. You know what? In my opinion, we got a bunch of pervert, demonic people who are in the most powerful places on this planet. And maybe that's why the Bible says we have a wrestling against wicked spirit forces, not the flesh. Let's continue.
Now, the whole reason why Nicki Minaj is coming out today and exposing Jay-Z is because his name was in the Epstein files, okay, guys? And your boy's trying to play nice according to the YouTube guidelines, so I can't really speak too much about the Epstein files on this channel, but I'm posting all of my content related to Epstein on my other channel. The link will be in the description. But Nicki Minaj has a lot to get off her chest. She's been very vocal about the things that she genuinely feels now, I guess. I don't know.
And my question would be, so if she was not mad at Jay-Z for not giving her $100 million that she says that he allegedly owes her, would she come out and talk about this stuff? Just a question.
Everybody's saying that her performance with Donald Trump when she was on stage saying that she supports Trump, that she's Trump's biggest fan.
And my God, I did a video on that, and I gotta tell you, when Trump, matter of fact, when she started speaking and when she said that she's his biggest supporter, I mean, I recognized the game. She wanted something. Some have alluded to she wanted her citizenship from him, but also the way Trump was holding her hand. I don't know what to say. Let's continue.
And she was under some MK Ultra, not too far-fetched, but I more so want to focus on what today's video is about and how she's exposing Jay-Z and why she's even choosing to expose Jay-Z now.
Nicki Minaj just went completely berserk on Jay-Z, and she's shocking the internet.
Completely berserk.
Fresh off her appearance with Trump and a viral war with Don Lemon, Nicki is now calling out Jay-Z by name after those recent Epstein files started circulating. What she just claimed is completely unexpected, not because of the allegation.
All the Epstein file reactions are going to be on the other channel, right?
Themselves, but because Nicki is actually willing to say it out loud. After decades in the industry alongside these people, the question is, why is she breaking the code now? And more importantly, is these comments against Jay-Z connected to the new Epstein files? For the last few days, Nicki Minaj has been trending for all sorts of reasons. First, she showed up to a Turning Point USA event where she was seen on stage hanging out with Erica Kirk. This seemed to be the pre-game for the next move, which was appearing next to the President of the United States himself.
And I gotta say this about Erica Kirk. It has been reported since her husband was killed that she was pregnant like a month or 2 months later. Like, that was quick. Now, some have made other allegations about that and her deceased husband. But all I'm gonna say is something not right. Oh no.
Just a few days back, Nicki showed up to show support for Trump and speak to the MAGA fanbase. This ended up sparking massive backlash online as her fans saw this as a sellout moment. But right as the tension was building and people were really starting to turn on Nicki.
The reason why so many people were saying that she's under some MK Ultra mind control type stuff is because the whole entire time that she was on stage, her mind was just looking, like her face was just blank. Like,
look at that dirt box Trump's face behind her. Look at the greasiness, that look on his face. What does that look mean? I don't know, but I don't think it's good.
it looked emotionless, I'm not gonna lie. Every other time that you see Nicki Minaj, there's always some type of expression, or at least her tonality speaks for herself. But in this particular situation, there was no real expression. So people were messaging me like, it went over your head, it's MK Ultra. And listen, y'all, I can't put anything past the government. We all know MK Ultra exists, but at the same time, all this new woke content BS, I'm not a part of that, y'all. I'm not a part of this whole woke shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe that every conspiracy theory is true. What I believe is that there's a lot that goes unspoken about. And if anything comes to light, I will expose the truth. I'm interested in finding the truth and seeking and exposing the truth. That's what this channel is about. We don't want to sit here and believe in the reason why we paint the wall.
Nitrous, I rock with you, young homie. I rock with that. I'm about the truth. Let's go.
Those ways because they want to keep our minds blank, BS, bro. That's what woke content is nowadays. Nowadays, people just make shit up, bro. The reason why we paint yellow lines on the streets is because we want to keep people isolated in there. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
But what I don't like is how the Caucasian political parties, namely the one that this cat is on, talks about the so-called woke identity, that they've had a whole movement against the woke thing. And I personally don't know any black people that even use that term. It's kind of like, all the slang that we had in the past, how the Caucasian community will gentrify it and use our slang now that we have discarded, and they have made it mainstream into their lingo, right? So this woke thing, I was never really down with it, but I don't know anyone that subscribes to that. But let us keep going.
Like, it gets to a point, man. It gets to a point. But I'm always interested in finding out the truth.
She took it there and accused Jay-Z of doing some of the most heinous things imaginable. Now obviously, if you follow this channel, you know that for years, I have been exposing the music industry's deeply dark hidden side, revealing the darkness that lies at the root of the industry. I say that because I believe everything Nicki said about Jay-Z is true. But I have some issues with Nicki saying this, and I will get more into that later. First, let's get into the tweets themselves and break down exactly what Nicki is talking about and why I believe she's actually correct about the things she's saying. In the recent tweets Nicki aimed at Jay-Z, she accused him of not only being into but being a part of the secret societies that control the industry. She went as far as to accuse Jay-Z of allegedly participating in ritual sacrifices. Let's start with the tweet she made about Jay-Z and him being in.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I mean, can we prove this? Can she prove this? I don't know. Jay does not strike me as this type of person. But you don't know what people are into when they are in their own space behind closed doors. You have no idea. And I would say that we would all be shocked to find out what a lot of people are into behind closed doors. And also, people may be shocked to find out what you're into behind closed doors. All of us, really. So anyway, let's continue.
Which is what likely got him on the list in the first place. Nicki Minaj retweeted this tweet with the caption, "True or false?" She was referring to the allegations the person was making on the tweet about Jay-Z. She said, "Imagine if a 30-year-old rapper was out here with this day and age, and how y'all would have his head on a platter. The guy was hugging in broad daylight." Now honestly, I wasn't expecting to see Nicki call this out. These are things I have been pointing out for years. At this point, it's pretty much well known that Jay-Z likes girls that are much. He literally married Beyonce after he started dating her when she was well. In fact, I even interviewed Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay, who alleged that Jay-Z was hooking up with Rihanna when he first signed her. At any moment, did you personally feel that they could have had something going on? Jay-Z and Rihanna?
Wow.
Definitely.
You can say allegedly. Okay. Allegedly, definitely.
Wow.
Not allegedly.
Okay, definitely.
Okay. And I was just about to bring her up and she popped up on the screen with your boy. So they say that Jigga Man was with her when she was 15. Hova, I'm not saying you did anything. I'm saying what they have said allegedly. So don't come hollering at me. I'm just reporting the news. That's what they say. They also say Jigga Man was allegedly with Aaliyah, and she was 15. Oh, Jigga Man, let's continue.
On top of this, everyone in the industry knows the story about Foxy Brown. Nick Cannon literally grilled Dame Dash for Jay-Z allegedly dating Foxy when she was
Foxy Brown's son. But that's,
I didn't sign Foxy Brown. I'm just asking a question.
I'm not insinuating. I'm just asking.
I thought Foxy was.
That's all I'm saying.
When you say the Foxy I signed, why did you say that just
When I first was introduced to who Foxy was, I thought there was something between Foxy and Jay.
Now think about it. Jay-Z was accused of
My God. Hova, I didn't say that. That was your boy, Nick Cannon. So don't be coming for me. You need to go holler at him. He said it right in front of your ex-man, Dame. This is not good. And once again, I don't see the fascination of adult men wanting to be with teenagers. I don't understand it, and I never will. I will never understand why an adult man or woman wants to be with a single-digit child or a teenager, unless you're 18. But I don't approve of that for myself, but I can understand that for someone else. But I don't understand it. And if this is true, Jigga Man, you're a dirtbag.
doing stuff with a few years back. Now in the Epstein files, he is being called an urban gatekeeper who was put in place to keep the urban community under control. He was literally being accused of being in a room where a victim suffered. Now, if you thought this was bad already, wait until you...
All right, I gotta say, if you are in the Epstein files, you're a dirt box. You're a dirtbag. You're a prevert. And I'm just gonna throw it out there. So, Hova, if you hear this, yeah, I'm saying it because you're in the Epstein files. And actually, there are pictures of you with Harvey Weinstein like he was your homie. And if that's true we won't say if that's true. If you're in the Epstein files, 9 times out of 10, you're a prevert. Okay? And there's a place in hell for you.
To hear what Nicki said about Jay-Z and the satanic industry rituals. In this recent Twitter rant, Nicki claimed that Jay-Z is participating in sacrifice rituals, literally accusing him of making offerings to evil gods. She said in the tweet, "Are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to..."
Notice how she said if you ever vote Democrat again, bro. The greatest illusion that they ever gave was to tell you guys that the Democrats are in support of the minority, the black, the Spanish, the minority communities. Bro, do your research, man. Do your research on the politicians who claim to be Democratic. Understand that the reason why the most corrupt politicians will always be a part of the Democratic Party.
Nitrous, I have to disagree. I think either way you go, you are dealing with dirtbags. Trump is in the Epstein files thousands of times, right? And like I just said, if you are in the Epstein files, in my opinion, you're a dirtbag, okay? So that's where me and you disagree, but I could understand why you would feel this way, Nitrous. But the illusion is that either one of them is a good choice and they're both full of crap. That's the truth. Now let's continue.
Think of every policy ever put in place by a Democratic Party, bro. It always relied, it always imposed some level of government dependence.
Trump put in a policy of segregation, nitrous, recently. He also is dismantling monuments to remind America of slavery all around the country. He also is trying to do away with Martin Luther King's birthday and call it Trump Day. The list goes on. So what I'm saying is either way you go, it's a bunch of bull crap, okay? But I'm gonna let you continue.
Do some story time.
Control.
Since I was trying to not say what I know, yet they continue to attempt to bullying. She then followed up this tweet by saying, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and harm them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. She then continued by taking aim at the ritual that was taking place at the Grammy Awards that night. She said, as they do their rituals tonight, God Almighty would reveal himself to them. The rituals will backfire on them. God will not be mocked. Blessed is the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Every tongue that rises up against me in judgment shall be condemned and put to shame. Watch. In these tweets, Nicki was calling Jay-Z and other artists in the industry satanic. She claims that Jay-Z is a part of a satanic cult. Now, as crazy as this sounds, I have shown plenty of evidence over the years that suggests she isn't lying. See, Jay-Z has been incorporating plenty of occult imagery into his music for years. He literally branded himself with occult imagery, from his label name down to his signature hand sign. He also showed his ties to infamous occultist Aleister Crowley back in his Run This Town music video. Aleister Crowley is seen as the most famous Satanist, and Jay-Z praised him. In the behind-the-scenes interview for the Run This Town video, Jay-Z was seen wearing a hoodie with Aleister Crowley's main slogan, "Do what thou wilt." Right on Jay-Z's sweater, you can see the phrase. Aleister Crowley was known for performing all kinds of twisted rituals that sometimes even involve. The fact that Jay-Z is willing to show a man like Crowley praise tells you everything you need to know. I don't think Nicki is lying when she made these claims about Jay. These are the same things I have been saying for years.
Bro. This
now the question you might have is, why is Nicki saying all of this right now? Well, according to her, it's because Roc Nation is trying to destroy her. She tweeted, they sabotaged my documentary because I spoke about suffered. They've been trying to stall all my projects in hopes I lose a bunch of money and beg them for help. The destruction that's about to come down on them isn't funny. I told you to leave me alone. Now you'll understand why you should have just sat there and taken your meds. Now Nicki claims she's doing this because she's had enough and is—
Nicki Minaj is probably the biggest artist, or one of the biggest artists that have come out and spoken about this openly. One of the biggest.
now defending herself.
Have you guys ever just sat back after hearing like this type of stuff, or hearing about politics, people in power like Bill Gates, all these people committing all these evil acts, and they're still in power? You ever just ask yourself, like, what is really going on? What's really going on? That's my question. How is it that all of these powerful people are in the Epstein files and none of them are in jail? And then they say that Epstein is still alive and supposedly he committed suicide and no one ever really saw that. And how is it, even with Trump, he's still the president? What's really going on? That is the question.
Against Roc Nation. But is this really the reason she's saying all of this? To find the truth, we have to examine the timing of all of this. If you saw my last video that I posted yesterday regarding the recent Epstein files release, then you would know I pointed to Jay-Z being one of the scapegoats used to feed the people about the Epstein files. It's not a coincidence that Jay-Z's name were in the Epstein files, and now Nicki is calling him a satanic PDF file. Obviously, this all can—
I also have my own theory. And I believe that we're watching it play out, but all of the black men that have gotten powerful, like billionaire status. Now, I will say that they put themselves in position to get trampled by the powers that be, but I think that there is a plan to neutralize pretty much all black men who are close to approaching or are in the billionaire boys club. This is just my theory. I think that the powers that be, don't ever want a black man to have that kind of money and be roaming freely for too long because, and this is just my theory, they may be planning to get their lick back for what has happened in the past, if you know what I mean. It's just a theory, but your boy Hova is up next, so let's continue.
Next, back to her connection to Donald Trump. Now, those of you who watch my channel know how I feel about politics and about the left and the right. I think they're all puppets and it doesn't matter which side you play on. I don't think it's random that Nicki is calling Jay-Z a satanic PDF file after the Epstein files said the exact same thing. I also don't think it's random that Nicki is supporting Trump.
And what the heck is Pusha T doing in the Epstein files? How much money has he made? I need to look up his net worth. Like, how is, of all people on earth, is Pusha T, the Clips twin rapper, how is he in the Epstein files? This is out of control.
Either. Another man who was accused of some very dark things in these recent Epstein files. I'm actually working on a Patreon diving into those allegations that would be dropping in the next few days. If you're one of my members, you can expect that soon. Nicki is being used to further push the narrative that the Epstein files painted in order to keep all the attention on Jay-Z and off the big fish they were protecting. This is how they redirect the conversation to stay on the scapegoats. That's why they have Nicki Minaj saying this. While I believe Nicki is right about Jay-Z, that doesn't change the fact that Nicki herself is a sellout like all the rest. Unfortunately, Nicki is the wrong person to call out Jay-Z when she herself is guilty of the same things. Honestly, before she called out Jay, she should have called out Birdman and all the weird things he allegedly did to Lil Wayne when he was a kid. Remember, there was literally pictures of Birdman making out with Lil Wayne.
Okay. There's also a clip on BET from back in the day, and maybe I'll put it in here.
I gotta ask, ladies, I got y'all up here. So when you kiss a girl, right?
Hey, I'm the only person he kissed.
I got y'all up here. So when you kiss a girl, right?
Hey, I'm the only person he kissed. That's how I roll. That's nobody else, man. We roll like that.
Where Lil Wayne says, sitting next to Birdman, he said, "I'm the only one that can kiss baby on the lips." And then he kissed him on the lips on BET on the couch. Okay.
Wayne also said that Birdman paid for a girl to take his virginity.
All right, that's where we gotta pause it because that's when it gets a little complicated. Listen, yeah, we didn't already spoke about this whole topic of conversation. There's really no need to beat a dead horse. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, the reason why I feel like she wouldn't expose Birdman, Lil Wayne right now is because realistically speaking, it's not relevant to the topic of conversation of today's age. I'm not gonna lie, like it really doesn't matter at this point in time. Maybe sometime in the future. Now Nicki Minaj is doing a whole bunch of interviews where she's being vocal. Like I said, yeah, she's being real honest and open, especially related to politics, which is very interesting. But I'm glad that she's expressing how she feels about these type of things, because it's gonna give her group of people the what do they call themselves? The barbs, bro. I used to have a bunch of barbs in my comment section whenever I would expose Nicki Minaj hating on me, bruh. How you hating on me, bruh? It's her. Come on now. But the fact that she's exposing this kind of stuff is going to give them a new perspective. It's going to start shifting things. And the same thing that I said in the past is going to be true today. The fact of the matter is, the truth will always come to light, no matter how slow, no matter how long, no matter how much time it takes. It will always go through that shift. That is just the way that life works, bro. That is it. You can't hold on to the truth. You can't hold on to the lie for too long. No one ever thought that these politicians and celebrities and all these people would be getting exposed. No one ever thought that these demonic rituals would be getting exposed. No one ever thought that Epstein's Island would get exposed. But that's the way that it works. And if you even take it onto a different level, we are literally going through a spiritual battle. It is always going to be good versus evil, Jesus versus Satan, or God versus... It's always going to be that. Always. And once you start to realize that good always wins, that's when you start to change what you believe and what side you choose to be on, bro. The fact that all these demonic politicians and all these demonic people and things like that been hiding this for so long, right in front of your faces, but it's been kept a secret. But then it gets revealed. It always gets revealed. It always gets revealed. Look, y'all, I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe. If you made it up to this part of the video, and I want you to leave in the comments down below the word Roman. If you made
Ether News, you guys. Peace.
I want a new owner because mine doesn't know how to prompt AI.
Buy the basics of prompt engineering
Link
now.
is in the description.
Viral news source.